This is the last agor-adebate of the academic year. Right, so anarchism is our theme for tonight. I'd like to welcome Dr. Sedlmaier and Dr. Stefan Baumgarten from history, and Stefan is from modern languages. I'm Jochen Eisentraut. We're going to start probably with a couple of questions to the panel, but agor-adebates are open debates. So please feel free to pitch in, to ask, to give your point of view. So I suppose the first thing we should start with is to ask, what are anarchist ideas? What are anarchist principles? What are we to understand by this term? And maybe the historian would be the best person to put that question to.
Well, I suppose a healthy dose of skepticism is always the first approach of the anarchist. So I would be reluctant to say that there's a definite number of concrete principles. And I think that is already part of an approach, that you doubt authority. And that is perhaps one candidate, at least, for principle. Since I've been introduced as a historian, perhaps I'll try to approach the question from a historical angle. You probably, or many of you, will know this catchphrase of each according to his or her ability and each according to his or her needs.
I think anarchist ideas, before fleshing them out, can actually be traced to antiquity and further down. There are always ideas of self-government, ideas of cooperation amongst people rather than competition, which is also one of the key concepts anarchists discuss about. And but I would like to maybe just flesh out the key points, which and I know it might be in a post-modern context we are in today. It might maybe not be suitable to say there are some definite pointers, ideological pointers which anarchists believe in or which anarchists are against. But I mean, we can clearly identify what Alexander already mentioned, that there's definitely in not all anarchist groups, but in most, there is a kind of consensus against authority. Against authority perhaps in all kinds of forms, and also against domination. And these are maybe the philosophical kind of some key ideas of anarchists. But then maybe one thing which also most anarchists would claim agree on is they are against the state. So anarchist ideas are anti-statist. They tend to be anti-clericalist. They tend to also be against all forms of violence. Most anarchist ideas are strictly anti-violent, and on the positive side, so it's not only an ideology which is against. It's an ideology which can also be for certain things, which is definitely let's call it voluntary association, mutual aid, and egalitarian decision making.
Would anybody like to come in at this point and ask anything or add anything what we've heard so far?
I was going to say, the comment that anarchists be anti-violence seems to strike against the common view of anarchists like Molotov cocktail wielding revolutionaries. I'm just wondering, how do you square that in a circle?
Anarchism is designed to prevent serious oppositions to the achievement of socialism.
Who's designing it?
Anarchism is encouraged in academic institutions.
By who?
Well, basically by finance capitalism, by the people who really control the universities, who determine the curricula in the universities. I mean, the universities are now totally dependent directly on finance capital. And it's horrific. Even philosophy departments now are part funded directly by HSBC and so on.
I'm not sure I follow.
Can I just say
sure.
I have only just discovered anarchism
available. I studied sociology, but I was never exposed to it. I found out myself, and all the aspects that I have within me connected to anarchism were there anyway, but it was never on the curriculum as this man suggests over here. And that's, I think, is the problem because of the institution. And that's one of the biggest problems that anarchism faces.